I'm Kristen. Standing in the familiar yet now empty house, I'm overcome with a mix of relief and disbelief. Just a few weeks ago, my world was on the verge of collapsing. I was on the brink of being sent to a residential treatment facility, a place that would have stolen my future, my dreams of becoming a doctor. My father, Mr. Thompson, is a successful real estate developer. He's always been a man of few words, focused on his work. After my mother passed away from a rare genetic disorder when I was 10, he threw himself even more into his business. He provided me with everything I needed materially, but his presence in my life was often just a shadow. He promised me that once I turned 18, I'd have my own place, a fresh start. That promise was like a lifeline during the darkest days. I've always been a top-notch student. Teachers at my high school in Seattle would often praise me for my discipline and focus. Medical school has been my goal for as long as I can remember. The logic of the human body, the way symptoms can lead to a diagnosis and treatment, it all made sense to me. But then, strange things started to happen. It began with faint whispers, so soft that I thought I was imagining them. Sometimes, late at night when I was studying, I'd hear a voice calling my name. When I'd look up, the hallway outside my room would be empty, silent. I told myself it was just stress. Senior year was tough, with endless exams and tutoring sessions. I also started feeling watched. A prickle on my spine when I walked through the living room, a tightness in my chest when I was in the kitchen. But whenever I'd turn around, everything looked normal. I tried to ignore it, focusing on my studies, telling myself that it would pass. Then, my father met a woman named Lily. She was beautiful, with a warm smile and kind eyes. When she first came into our lives, she was like a breath of fresh air. She'd play board games with me, bake cookies, and make the house feel like a home again. I was so happy when my father announced they were getting married. I thought I'd finally have a mother figure in my life. A couple of years later, Lily gave birth to twin boys, Jake and Tom. My father was over the moon. But that's when things started to change. Lily became more and more distant. She'd get irritated by the smallest things, like my shoes left by the door or my laughter during the boys' nap time. She'd frame her complaints as concerns, and I'd try so hard to be a good step-sister and daughter. The whispers and the feeling of being watched got worse. I started seeing shadows out of the corner of my eye. They'd disappear as soon as I turned to look. I knew these things weren't real, but I was scared. I didn't tell anyone because I was afraid of what they'd think. I didn't want to be labeled as unstable. Lily started watching me closely. She'd ask me small questions, like if I'd eaten or if I'd locked the door. Her questions made me feel like I was being judged. And my father, he started to change too. Lily would talk to him privately, and I'd overhear words like strange and forgetful. One day, my father insisted I see a psychiatrist. He said it was just a precaution, but I was terrified. I knew that a medical record could ruin my chances of getting into medical school. I took the medication the doctor prescribed, but it only made things worse. I felt nauseous, tired all the time, and my concentration was shot. The whispers and shadows didn't go away. Lily kept pointing out my problems to my father. She said I was a danger to the boys. One afternoon, I heard them arguing in my father's study. Lily was saying that I needed to be sent to a residential treatment center. She said it was for my own good and for the safety of the family. I was devastated. I knew that once I was sent there, my life would be over. That night, I couldn't sleep. I searched online for the facility Lily had mentioned. The website looked nice, but the fine print was terrifying. It was a place where people's autonomy was taken away. I knew I had to get out. I called my best friend, Alex. We've known each other since elementary school. He's the kind of person who notices the little things. When I told him everything, he didn't hesitate. He said I could stay at his grandmother's apartment. The next morning, I packed a few essentials and left a letter for my father. As we drove away from the house, I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. When we reached the apartment, I was shocked. The whispers and shadows were gone. I felt normal for the first time in months. Alex and I started to suspect that something at home was causing my symptoms. We thought about the food, the drinks, and the way Lily always insisted on handling certain things herself. We sent samples to an independent toxicology lab through one of my grandfather's old contacts. The waiting was torture. Every time my email notification sounded, my heart would skip a beat. Then, one afternoon, the results came in. My biological samples contained residues of synthetic compounds that could cause auditory and visual hallucinations. I wasn't sick, I was being poisoned. Alex took the report to my father. At first, my father couldn't believe it. But then, he accessed the home security system. He found footage of Lily putting something in my drink. The next morning, he confronted Lily. She tried to deny it at first, but then she admitted it. She was jealous of the attention I got and afraid that I'd inherit my father's wealth. My father divorced Lily. He took full custody of the twins. I returned home after she was gone. The house felt different, safe. My father apologized to me. He said he should have trusted me. Our relationship is slowly healing. I've learned that not all harm comes in the form of obvious cruelty. Sometimes, it's hidden behind a mask of concern. And I'll never forget the importance of trusting my own experiences, even when others try to convince me otherwise. I'm now back on track for medical school, and I know that this experience has made me stronger.